We've looked at ways of bringing back the Stow and keeping it as a leisure facility for local people. I don't think it can be just a dog track. I think it will need to have other facilities in there and be used 7 nights a week. Every night there should be something on. Maybe dogs only 3 or 4 nights a week, or 2 nights a week and 2 afternoons a week, but the rest of the time you can't leave a stadium empty. So we're looking at putting probably AstroTurf football pitches in the middle for the local kids, so they play their cup finals. They don't go to some cold, wet, windy park. They're actually playing in a stadium. Dog tracks do not need to be multi-sided nowadays. One side we would have the stadium, the restaurants, this side, but the other side could all go to local community projects, things like youth clubs, libraries, things like that, that can enhance the area and make the whole place a leisure and entertainment centre, not just a dog track. The revenue streams from all these things would be okay. We'd be able, because suddenly you'd have so many more things going on. You just cannot run a business like football stadiums and things like that on 2 hours a week, 4 hours a week, 6 hours a week. You've got to get them working as close to 24/7 as possible, but you've got to listen to your local community and what the community actually want. You can't just put what you want in there. And the great shame about this site here, there's very little for the local community, very little for the people of Waltham Forest there, because they're talking about 490 houses, over 7 stories, right? And they call it high density, not me. And wherever you build high density, 5 years later you know what you've got. I don't want to call it a slum, but it's not very nice. And 250 of those are going to be sold privately. Then 50% of what's left is going to be shared ownership, with the people buying at least between 50 and 75% of the house. So then there's only actually 120 houses left for people on the Waltham Forest waiting list. And then how many of those houses are going to go to people from Waltham Forest? So what are we trading? We're trading an iconic stadium, a real leisure centre, for what, 30 or 40 houses for local people to help look, and I believe there should be housing for everyone. But if you look at the area, it's all 3-bedroom houses. Some of the bigger houses have been split into 2 flats, and there should be much more for the community than building one big ghetto in one spot that 5 years from now everybody's going to regret that it's there. We're hoping that the council will give a big no, and they are already coming out on our side. Big no to any building permission on this site. L&Q seem to claim that it's been a failed business. Anybody looking at the figures from the previous business can see that the Chandlers who owned it took huge amounts the last 3 years in salaries and pension contributions of over 8 figures. 8 figures in salaries and pension contributions to make sure that the business went down. And even then it was still taking good money at the end. And if L&Q really wanted to put to the test whether it was a failed business, and they're going to fail on planning permission anyway, why don't they rent it to someone for a 4 or 5 year period, give the person a period, and if it's a failed business, it will go skin. I promise you, it will not go skin. It will make a lot of money, and it will be good for the people of Waltham Forest.